Chain grows with a leaf and a bound, but none of them making the tiniest sound.
The world is still ignorant of many facts about the Moroccan crown prince, and they gather leads from here and there on him to collect information about his personal life and funny moments to find out how Morocco will be during his reign. A lively, youthful spirit that combines a cheerful and stern face at the same time. Many people compared him to his grandfather, the late King Hassan too, because of their similarity in charm, smile, and charisma. What happened on his birthday? Does the prince live a happy life? Has he lost his royal title? This is a viral video about the Crown Prince of Morocco. Moulay El Hassan made a funny, young gesture as he passed the camera, demonstrating the Crown Prince's playful nature away from the royal protocol. The prince is known for his extreme humility, enjoys mingling with people in public, and lives a humble life. It has previously been observed eating fast food and going to the cinema. He and his sister Lala Khadija have earlier been spotted at Marrakech's Jam El Anna Square, enjoying popular food and taking selfies with people. His Royal Highness King Moulay El Hassan, the handsome prince and crown prince of Morocco, is the grandson of the late King Hassan II and the son of King Mohammed VI. One of the youngest crown princes in the world, among the richest princes of the modern era, and one of the most popular princes in the world. His fortune is reported to be worth billions of dollars. Thursday, May 8, 2003, the sound of the cannon was heard, 1 year after the Moroccan king wed Princess Lala Salma. Moroccans count the number of shots. If the number of shots is 21, this means that the newborn is a girl. But if the child was born and he was a crown prince, then it is 101 shots. But if the newborn is a prince only, the number of shots will be 41, and the women in the royal palace, if the newborn is female, cheer once, but if the newborn is male, they cheer 3 times, evidence of the overwhelming joy. The royal family has continued to follow this habit for many years. Each person who was born on the same day as the prince receives a gold necklace from him. The prince also orders that thousands of prisoners be released from jail by a royal pardon proclamation, and his weight is distributed to the poor. In gold, the Malawi School. In 1942, the late King Mohammed V decided to establish the Malawi School, to be a school for princes and kings, along with their colleagues who were being prepared to become influential within the state. As soon as Prince Hassan at the time, who later became King Hassan II, reached school age, his father decided to inaugurate a school for princes and princesses of the royal family. The school was governed by paramilitary rules, with strictness and discipline in dealing without allowing or leniency with any transgressions, so that it was subject to an internal system that did not allow even professors who did not exceed 20 in number at the time to leave it whenever they wanted. During the reign of King Mohammed VI, the number of school staff reached 300, all working to educate Crown Prince Moulay El Hassan and his colleagues according to carefully controlled programs. The school day for the Heir Mohammed VI starts from 6 in the morning, with memorizing the Holy Quran, before eating breakfast to start the sports class, then lessons from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening, as well as a night review class that continues until 11 at night. The Crown Prince spends 45 hours a week studying, including assistance and revision lessons, starting on Monday at the Malawi School and finishing on Saturday, as per Saturday. Some parallel activities are programmed, including seeing a carefully selected movie shown inside his school cinema. The Crown Prince and his colleagues also allocated hours for physical exercise, supervised by trainers and coaches belonging to the Royal Gendarmerie and the Royal Armed Forces. The mission of the Malawi School was not confined to preparing princes to become kings of Morocco, but also went beyond it to educating an elite of influential and powerful decision-makers in the kingdom. Contrary to the choices of his grandfather and his father, after Hassan, the king's son, obtained his baccalaureate high school in 2020 in the Economic and Social Sciences division, the next king chose to study at the Faculty of Governance and Economic and Social Sciences. And the Crown Prince went against the choices of his father, who studied law at the Faculty of Legal Sciences of Mohammed V University in Rabat, and his grandfather, the late King Hassan II, had studied law and completed his university education in the French city of Bordeaux. Al Hassan ben Mohammed is now studying at the Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, which is one of the most prestigious public universities in the kingdom. The distinguished people enter it, and they receive high and distinguished training, with an infrastructure that conforms to international standards. In conjunction with all this, and to codify his talent in aviation, the Crown Prince of Morocco studied at the Royal Air School in Marrakech, where he obtained theoretical and practical lessons that would enable him to pilot aircraft in the future. Heir to the throne. 9 October 2008, the Crown Prince joined the school when he was 5 years old, and it was customary for the king to choose children from among the people to study with the princes, so that they were given special tests, and that they were distinguished and excelled academically and known for their intellectual ingenuity. And besides the Holy Quran and Islamic education, Crown Prince Hassan studied bin Mohammed offers many study programs such as philosophy, text analysis, history, geography, grammar, history of literature, translation, Arabic, French, English, and Spanish languages, science, and mathematics. King industry. Although the Crown Prince and his colleagues share the same professors, classrooms, and subjects, the education that the future king receives of the country is not the same as that of other princes or colleagues, given the tasks he will perform in his father's succession in governing the country and looking after the royal family. The Crown Prince is subject to a careful and thoughtful cognitive and psychological formation, which puts him under pressure. He is also trained in leadership, decision-making, and assuming the responsibility entrusted to him in the present and the future. In the history of Morocco, it is not always the eldest son who will be his successor. King Hassan II. He was the eldest son of Mohammed V, but Mohammed V was the youngest son among his brothers. In order to know the truth about whether the Crown Prince of Morocco will lose his title, we must return to the Constitution of the Kingdom of Morocco. Property. Article 43. The Crown of Morocco and its constitutional rights are hereditary and are transmitted from father to son through male descendants in direct line, and by order of primogeniture of His Majesty, the King Mohammed VI, unless the king has designated, in his lifetime, a successor from among his sons, other than his eldest son. When there are no male descendants in direct line, the succession to the throne is devolved in the closest male collateral line and in the same conditions. This means that the general rule is heredity, which it is that the eldest son is the one who is the crown prince. The exception can be if the king appoints another of his children while he is alive, and in the event of the king's death and he does not have a son, the king turns to his brother. In your opinion, how rich is Prince Moulay El Hassan?